Are you really tired after you do your artwork? Let's talk about it. Yo, today we're going to talk about the parking brake in your mind that's kind of preventing you from getting a lot of work done. I'm pretty much going to kind of walk you through how I got rid of mine, at least for the most part. But this is related to art, obviously drawing and kind of your drawing practice, and hopefully by the end of this you're going to have a better idea of how to kind of get over this issue yourself, okay? That's pretty much it. But while I'm talking and rambling, I'm going to be working on this guy a little bit more. He is a drawing of an action figure I have sitting on my desk. I'm going to show that. All right, let's hop into my thoughts about that. So, really thinking about... By the way, before that, hit the subscribe, click the bell notification. You don't want to miss out. I got a lot of drawing advice videos and a lot of basic drawing videos on the channel. Really quick. What do I mean by the parking brake in your mind? So sometimes, like, when it comes to drawing practice or getting stuff done, just kind of like the pain of thinking about it is worse than the actual job. I don't know if you've ever even had this experience. If you haven't, try it. Sometimes I'm worrying about something, or I have to get something done. You know, maybe I have to practice, certain anatomies or something like that. Maybe certain facial expressions. And I just got to do it because I want to become a better artist. And it kind of seems like a chore. And you know, you have that moment where you just do it and you're like, wow, why didn't I do this like weeks ago? Right? Like, you just do it and you're like, okay, that was much easier and much simpler. And I wish I hadn't been like worrying about that for like so long. You know, you realize how much energy you dump into just worrying. So that's something you want to take and you want to apply, because that's gonna like pop up throughout your artist career depending on what kind of person you are. I know for me, I'm very much a goal oriented person. So it's kind of like I'm working on something and I'm like, I just want it to be done, right? I just want to finish it, put it in my sketchbook, and just by the way, let me talk a little bit about this art. Take a quick break on the thought. Shin Godzilla, based on the I forgot what the figures were called, but these figurines, but incredibly fun. These kind of squatty version of Shin Godzilla, and I've kind of used them for practice. I'm like addicted to collecting them. But yeah, I'm using mostly the ink right here, and I'm trying to do a lot more inking because I think inking's a lot of fun. And if you don't do enough of it, you have to do more of it. Like, for reals. If you're only using pencil right now, go to ink. And just kind of try it out. It really helps you with your calligraphy. It helps you with your design, right? Like where you're going to put certain things. Absolutely helps with that stuff, so you don't want to kind of spare on it. You really want to like lean into whatever pushes you out. You don't want to be afraid of pencils, right? I've had a whole video on like, don't be afraid of pens. I mean, because you can't erase. I understand why it's kind of like scary at the beginning, but it quickly becomes not scary very rapidly. So let me go back real quick. Barking brake in your mind. I'm trying to put this one over here. See how it's kind of bright? I want to make it a little bit like the hand out there. It looks too bright. I need to throw a couple of shadow like all over that so it sinks back a little bit, moves back. So kind of like at this stage in the paint and the drawing or whatever, I'm trying to pull things out and push things back to give it a little bit more of a 3D feel. So I'll probably push some of the legs back, the arm back, and try to make that head pop up with more contrast. So, quick break. Let's take a quick 360 of this guy we're drawing here. And, you know, just to kind of give you scale next to like a human, right? This is how it fits in the palm of my hand. These are X Plus, the brand. And I'm obsessed with these guys. These guys are basically the... I don't know, it's like a really high quality Funko. I like to think about it because they have like gigantic heads and the proportions are all different, but they're super well sculpted. It's just amazing to look at, and I'm obsessed with these. Okay, I'm gonna put a link in the description if you are curious as to get one yourself. I'll put a link. I don't know if they got one, so pretty much it. I just thought it'd be cool to kind of get a quick look at this guy, about 360 view, kind of in my hand, so you get the scale for it. So let's hop back in without interruption. Let me go over here. So the brush itself is getting a little bit dry, which I like, because then I can kind of do a little bit of shading with it. It feels like I'm using like a light brush. Parking brake in your mind. So the more you do this, the more you get over this, right? The more you do this, the more you completely get over. The more you totally get over that parking brake. You get used to using that willpower, and it starts to not become a big deal. Sometimes it's not just okay. There's a couple of things. Number one, it's exercising your willpower, right? You have to go like, all right, I'm gonna do this now, and just, you know, pushing yourself to it. I think you're like bringing an animal to water, right? You have to like, hey, come on, you get back there. You have to kind of talk to yourself in a way where you're like, all right, you want to get back there, you want to do this, come on, come on, come on, and you just get yourself to start practicing whatever it is you have to do to get it done. And the other factor is kind of like this negativity thing I've noticed. I've heard this a lot lately too, and I used to feel this myself. Sometimes I remember back in the day I didn't really like, I would say and I've said this a bunch of times on camera, I went through this period where 2 years I did not get better at all. I got stuck, I had this mental breakdown, and I just couldn't get by stuff. And I think at that point it's just this negativity that was holding me back. And what I mean by that, it was like this self-fulfilling prophecy where I was getting more negative because I'm like, why do this? I'm not going to make it anyway. Like, why do this? You know, I see this prevailing thought a lot on, like, you know, Twitter or wherever, you know, wherever artists post DeviantArt. By the way, I'm posting a lot on DeviantArt now, so go check me out on there. It's Sketch Monster, I think. Sketch Monster 1, I think. Sketch _ monster number 1, I believe, on there. I think it's one of those. But go find me on DeviantArt. This prevailing thought of like, oh, this sucks, so why even start it? Or why even put the effort into this, because it's gonna suck anyway. And that can kind of like, again, leak into like this restricting, this kind of restricting factor that you have in your mind, where I'm like, oh, why do this? Oh my god, I have to do that. You know, it takes so much energy to kind of get over that negative voice, that when you finally get over that voice, you're exhausted. You know, you're doing a task and you're like, wow, I'm so mentally exhausted because that voice was kind of holding me back. So I'm going over here really lightly. Right there, just kind of trying to pull everything back again. Move everything back, and the higher contrast stuff is up front. So think about something that you haven't done, right? Think about a task where you're like, oh man, it's such a hard time, and like you're really dragging yourself to do it. Think about like, hey, how long does it actually take? Time it out. Sometimes these things take like 10 minutes and you're like, what? Like, oh, I could have just practiced for 30 minutes. That was easy. And you enjoy it. Think about that and just start doing it. Just start actually doing a task, and you're gonna find that you do it more. If you do it more and more, it gets easier and easier. You don't have to use that willpower. You just kind of do it as much as you can, and then you're kind of like, oh, did I practice today? Did I practice drawing today? And you're like, oh yeah, I practiced like a few hours ago. Like literally, you kind of forget. It's just like this autopilot response. So try that out. That's very quick. It certainly had a big difference in my life, and that's certainly you're gonna find that you're doing everything faster. And because you're doing things faster, you're doing them better, because you have time to kind of go back and fix them and mess around with them. So anyways, that's it. If I got any Shin Godzilla fans, let me know. Say what's up in the comment section. Yeah, I'm going to put up a video every now and then. I don't know how often, but it's going to be a lot more than before. So I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank everybody who support the channel. I'm going to be putting tons and tons and tons of more educational videos, so absolutely watch. If you have a topic you want me to talk about, I will totally do it. Or I can just show you about it. Go check out the links in the description as well. There is the Skillshare programs for all the full programs, and thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Talk to you very, very soon. Stay lucky, and I'll talk to you later.